I do want to ask you this: with your the space that you carved out on YouTube, do you see yourself going on tour?
Eventually, eventually. Um, I haven't figured out what that looks like yet. Um, because I'm trying to decide whether it's gonna be because when you go on tour, you're going on tour in a certain lane. It might be comedy, it might be motivational speaking, or it might just be just you on stage running your mouth about a particular topic. And I'm trying to decide what that's going to be because I'm thinking if I do that, it's going to be more along the lines of motivational speaking in the vein of promoting masculinity, you know?
Yeah, because the lane is already being carved because we got these podcast tours. I remember when the first podcast tour I heard about was obviously the Brilliant Idiots, but that was way back when. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say the lane is already carved out, and I guess, oh, obviously production and that type of stuff, you got to figure that out. But I was just saying that with the heavy hitters on this side, it's like time. When do you guys think it's time for you guys to get on the road? Obviously, 2020 we was all shut down, but now everybody's outside. So, if you was to give a timetable, when do you see Angry Man US tour?
Um, probably in the next year or so, because my
Mm,
wife was trying to get me to do it in 2017, and I didn't feel like I was ready for that at that point. So I was like, nah, I don't really want to do that. But I can see it coming soon. Because my thing is when I look at it, I don't look at it in terms of whether I'm capable or not. I know I'm capable of it as far as just the speaking part and not being not having stage fright and things like that. Like I'm not worried about any of that. I'm worried more about the business side of it. So how it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So one thing is I don't want to book shows and then not fill up the seats. You feel what I'm saying?
right.
So lately when I go places, people start noticing me. And so once I saw that, it's like, okay, if I go to this city or I go to that city and somebody notices me, it's like, okay, then I'm starting to look at it like, okay, if I book a show in this city, what's the likelihood of me filling up the seats? You know what I'm saying? What's the likelihood of me being able to set a price point that I can live with and know for a fact that people ain't gonna have a problem paying it? Then on top of that, in addition to that, I'm trying to get everything situated with my with getting my book released. So I want to have that done beforehand too. You feel what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a nice feature. And I wanted to share something. I was supposed to write this article with my website before I shut it down temporarily until we do a November release.
Mm.
Here's what I'm noticing in the future because advertisement dollars when I see the TV ratings. Advertisement. One thing I tell people is the net. People ask how do these TV shows get paid? How do these networks get paid? That's advertisement dollars. Coca-Cola is always the best example. Coca-Cola wants to come fill up the 9-minute slot for your 30-minute show.
Mm.
They'll give you the commercial. They'll give you the money. That way you advertise the product and boom, everybody wins. Now because people are straying away from TV, everybody's on social media. Everybody's on YouTube.
Mm.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's where I think is going to happen, if not by 2030, 2035. Advertisement dollars, they're already on YouTube anyway through the algorithms. Now, what I think Coca-Cola is going to start doing is just, for example, they're going to say, hey, Angry Man, I have a proposition for you. network TV is not working. It's not working out like we think it is. We want to advertise with you live on the show, or however, just like an influencer or a brand ambassador, whatever the case may be. Well,
Mm-hmm.
so once you and other content creators start getting all that money, television, network television is going to notice the money is going towards YouTube. And now a network television, let's say, um, let me bring up the channel. Fuck it, TBS. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say, oh fuck it, Revolt. Let's use Revolt. Revolt's gonna be like, yo, Angry Man, I like what you're doing. I want you to fill up a 90-minute slot with one of your streams. Obviously, here's some of the guidelines that you got to meet. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to license your stream to the network. So that's another bag. So what I'm saying is the content creators right now, if they don't get the advertisement money, they're going about to get the network money. If not by 2030, 2035. That's just something I started noticing. I don't know if anybody else noticed that as well.
Yeah, it's gonna start happening. You're already seeing it to a degree with these companies. In fact, what you're seeing is you're seeing guys that are already on network television shows doing podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
like Michael Rainey Jr. that plays Tariq St.
Tariq.
Patrick. Him and the white boy that's on the show with him, Brytn, they have a podcast, right? They have a podcast and they've got a few endorsements. One of the endorsements they have is Manscaped, which I was able to get an endorsement with them. So now you're starting to see these guys, because right now you even have the you have the actors going on strike and out in Hollywood, and the reason why they're going on strike is because it's finally coming out that they're not really making money like that.
Shockingly, yes.
Yeah, it just seems like they were making money like that. Like I seen a clip of the guy that played Naaman on The Wire, and he was showing the residuals from The Wire, right? And so he showed the check. It was $8. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Yeah, it was $8. So you have these actors, and then you got situations where you have somebody like a Country Wayne who goes on to Pierre's podcast, and he tells Pierre that he's making $300,000 a month, and he didn't believe it. And you even had Faison Love, who played Big Worm, go on an interview and say, "Oh, Country Wayne is lying." And the reason why he's saying that is because he's so used to being in Hollywood and doing things the old way, he can't fathom a content creator making that kind of money. But looking at Country Wayne's numbers, I know he's making that kind of money because I know what I make. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's not just on YouTube, he's on Facebook. Facebook pays way more than freaking YouTube, but he's all over the place. And what's going to end up happening, you even see it with ESPN. ESPN, the reason why they're firing everybody is because people aren't watching ESPN like that anymore.
Right.
Like they're not watching them like that anymore. They're coming to, meanwhile, people aren't tuning in to ESPN. Disney is losing money. ESPN is going to try to go into the streaming services, but that's not going to work, unfortunately. And the reason why is because why would somebody tune into that when they can come to YouTube and they can pick a content creator that's doing sports casting? You look at Cameron and Mace's show is blowing up.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So what we're really watching, we're watching the death of legacy media. And it's a slow death. It's being dragged out, but you're watching the death of legacy media. So what's going to end up happening is these content creators on YouTube, the ones that take it seriously, as far as their production value. And that's another reason why it's funny to me that people are angry with Pearly. And the reason why it's funny to me is because I'm like, instead of paying attention to her as far as her comments or things that she's saying, what you really should be paying attention to is her production, because she's out of here. She has her stuff set up properly. So when these network companies and these legacy companies start realizing there's no more money in regular television or even in streaming services, you look at Disney lost millions of fucking subscribers for their Disney Plus thing. So when these companies start looking, you're going to start seeing content creators get these massive deals with these streaming services and stuff. Matter of fact, the DC Young Fly and the rest of
85
South, they just got a deal with Netflix.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna start seeing this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like me, if any company was to approach me, I'm not even gonna tell you no lie, I would hold out for Netflix, because they giving people the bag. Like they're not even playing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're gonna start seeing that, but you're only gonna see it in the people that actually take this seriously. You know?
And that's something I told during the regarding what all that flack Skip was going through, and people saying they should fire Skip. I was like, that would be the stupidest thing Fox ever do, because number one, he's still gonna have his Twitter. Number two, he's gonna create a production company. Number three, he's gonna create a marketing company to get advertisement dollars, and so on and so forth. And he has the money to invest in himself, because the more money you invest in yourself, that makes other people want to start throwing money at you anyway. Yeah. I saw that on a smaller level. I saw that for myself. One day I just said, you know what? Let me go buy a couple of suits, button-up ties, all that stuff. Next thing I know, I check my DMs with Video, one of the sponsors of the show, hit me up, and guess what? They sell accessories and items that I can add to my wardrobe. So it's like just a little investment right there, and look what happened. So I always tell people, I tell people, like for me, like I said this thousands of times, right now I'm on my cell phone recording. I have a remote iPad to control literally everything. And that's just to get started. But if you really want to see some real success, go get your lap, go get your MacBook, preferably. Go get you a camera, go get you all this stuff, go get you a background. Like me, I have a green screen. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it, because I don't have the system for all that yet. But looking at your background, the reason why people are investing in you, because you decided to financially invest in yourself, and you get to reap the rewards at the end.
Yeah, definitely. Ever since I started, I've constantly told people that if you really want to have a successful platform, it's just like hip hop. It's just like hip hop. You look at Young Thug. The reason why Young Thug was so successful is because when a label approached him, they didn't have to do any work. He had already sold his own albums. He had already did so many things. So when a network looks at you and they see that you have the production level that they would have, in other words, they don't have to groom you. They can just do the deal with you and then split the money. It's a no-brainer. And so I always
no need for an A&R.
Yeah. So it's like I told everybody, I was like, look, man, you gotta, like for instance, with this, in order for me to control everything in here, I have a Stream Deck, right? And the last week I bought another one. You know what I'm saying? I bought another one. So like I got like 2 Stream Decks. I got like the Stream Deck pedals in order to control certain stuff. And it's like, dudes got to think about it. Why would a company invest millions in you if you're not even willing to invest thousands, you know?
Exactly.